going to go into my rant about Telkom.
Tell us about Telkom.
My broadband ran a article going, Telkom is...
no.
No, it's not your fault. You guys were doing everything correct. That it was that you could sign up to trial the 20 megabits or 40 megabits thing. If you had to be on Telkom Internet, which I...
No, they didn't say. Not in the sign-up sheet. They only said that after
there was a
they
requirement
announced.
in the sign-up sheet.
Yes, you, like on the sign-up sheet, you could say which product you want.
Yes.
And I said Telkom Internet Uncapped. Yeah.
Now, in that, I also said that I was going, let me sign up and try this. Worst case, going to phone me. I'm going to find out how much. If it's too much, I'm going to go no. But other than that, I want to try 40 megabits per second. Which geek would not?
Yes, exactly.
Cool. Great, sign up, whatever. They phoned me today.
I got phoned today as well. Yesterday, sorry.
Hi, we see you've signed up and you want a product. What product was that? It's like, seriously, you don't know?
Okay, my service was a lot better than that.
So mine was like, I filled this in for the 20 megabits, 40 megabits line. Oh, sorry, what product? It's like, it was 20 megabits line. It's like, oh, okay. What's your number? Tell me. No, you only got 10 megabits where you are. It's like, then why are you phoning me? I filled in a form specifically asking, contact me if this trial is available for me. I don't want to get contacted about anything else. Contact me just about this. How do you get that wrong?
I think what happened is, and I think the poor salespeople were caught completely off guard. I think it was probably a genuine mistake that this was fed into the leads form, and so now you've got a whole bunch of geeks who read my broadband who went onto the leads form and filled it in with 20 and 40 megabits per second, because I got a very similar call. And the lady said, okay, listen, I don't really deal with anything more than 4 megabits per second, but call this number, say the super secret keyword, and they'll see if they can sort you out. And then I called and they upgraded me to 6 meg, but no 40 meg. No.
I must say, what's even worse than that is finish this call, whatever, it's okay. Look, things happen. Literally 5 minutes later, Telkom phoned again saying, oh, we see you filled in this form wanting this product. It's like, you guys have just phoned me. Oh, thank you, sir. It's just amusing. They need to get their systems a bit more up to date.
Yeah. I must say, though, I mean, despite those hiccups, when you actually, at least in the Centurion area, when you actually have service, which isn't that difficult to do in Centurion either, you just have to wait for the technician and blah, blah, blah. But generally, they get there, in a fairly timely manner, as timely as technicians can be. And then once you're there, like my service, as long as no technician is involved, it has been fairly good. Like I've never really waited on the contact center, except when I need to log a fault. But then I just use the online form.
So you've never waited except when you've actually had to use them?
For a fault. When I wanted to upgrade my service, it was lightning quick. It was on the line, the guy's like, okay, do this. Okay, now do that. Okay, cool, now do this. Okay, great, it's done.
Look, I don't want to bash Telkom more. Generally, I must say I found generally my experiences with the Centurion has been good, though I know of a very specific one where...
In Centurion,
where we had, this is business, we had 3 lines, 2 in one location, 1 in another location. We specifically asked to move the 2. They moved the 2 and cancelled the 1. Suddenly the line stopped working. Then we phoned to find out why, and it's like, oh no, but we cancelled it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's not get into them.
Well, we can get into that, and I think it's fair comment, because the other thing I wanted to ask you is, how's your service been in Johannesburg since you've moved there?
Awesome, I have 10 megs. I never phone Telkom. But that's the thing. I'm not a good measurement because nothing is broken, so I don't know what the service is like when there is a problem.
Yes.
So we asked for the line to install. Once again, it's one of those, they can't give me the hour that they'll be there to install it. They can just give me the day. So you've got to take a day off. And I have another friend who had this exact same problem. It's like, well, can you tell me roughly when you'll be there so that I can organize myself? No, just sometime in this day. And that to me, in a modern service-orientated environment, is not how it should work.
Yeah.
Anyway. But we bash Telkom enough.
No, absolutely not.
I
There are
have
plenty more
I have
times.
10 megs in Johannesburg.
What I want to know, because there's a
Yes.
lot of speculation still. So I don't know if we're going to talk about Satnac at all. But the biggest thing that came out of we didn't have a show last week, so
No.
we have to mention this. Is that Telkom announced, even though there's a Telkom sucks slide up, shame. They announced the VDSL trial commencement, which is fairly good news. What they didn't announce is how much it's going to cost. I mean, they were very clear that it's from the beginning, when they first announced the VDSL trial and they're busy prepping for the trial, that it's going to be very limited. And it's going to exclude the likes of you and me. It's going to be Santon. It's going to be, and I've got all kinds of speculation as to why they chose the areas they did. So it's going to be Santon, hardcore, like Heart of Santon, Waterkloof, Durbanville, and then North Durban. And then...
There's another central Johannesburg as well, apparently.
Yeah.
Guess where I live?
No, it's not Central Joburg. I don't remember.
There was a Joburg something. There was 2 Johannesburgs. There was, or sort of, and one of those areas I might actually be in. That's why I see. Potentially hoping that
you were hoping that you would get in there. Yeah. Anyway, but the information I'm waiting on is Bashir Sali, who is the head of networks and wholesale, and that's maybe a topic we can get into at one stage. Is the complexities of Telkom's dealings with the public and of the public's dealings with Telkom, in how carefully they've got to separate themselves for regulatory reasons. But that said, Bashir is wholesale side, not retail. That's an important thing to note, maybe for a future discussion. And he was asked, listen, what's this going to cost? And he said it will be a different price. And part of that reason is that they want to test customer uptake as part of the trial. That price hasn't been announced. And I've been trying to get a hold of anybody who has been offered the service so I can find out what it's going to cost. But, I mean, this probably won't be the final price, but, I mean, we want to know. We want to know what people are going to be expected to pay for this. And so, lots of speculation around that some people will be asked, to pay in, while others will probably might be going on for free. I don't know. Because asking people to pay to use a trial, I don't know.
Well, added to this, because there was that whole debacle that the only ISP on the trial is Telkom Internet.
Yes, there's a bunch of reasons for that from Telkom's side, but I mean it's a valid point. I mean,
I don't know if it is valid reasons, because isn't part of your trial to see can you connect to other people?
Well, I don't know about valid reasons, but they've given reasons. All right, so those reasons are that if they were to expand their trial to include more ISPs, that means that they would have to spread the risk across those ISPs. They'd have to build back-end systems to be able to incorporate or to be able to talk to those ISP systems like they do with IPC now. Mm-hmm. And so most ISPs I've spoken to have said, sure, we'll come in on the trial. But Telkom has to cover the bandwidth cost because IPC is expensive.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure that that's going to happen. So with Telkom Internet, their argument is they'll be able to do the trial faster. So instead of only being able to start the trial a bit later and running the trial far longer in order to get feedback, they can do the trial in 6 months, which is now. They started in September, ended in January.
Also, the other obvious question, Telkom Internet, which is supposed to be separate, are they paying the IPC costs?
And it's such a weird situation. But the thing is, I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, while I've thought about these things, I wonder how worthy that is of pursuing, because the fact is we need this trial to happen. We need VDSL services. I want this trial to happen as quickly as possible so the other ISPs can get on the bandwagon.
I agree on that. Look, we need this trial to happen. We need it to go forward. We need all the rest of it. But also, once again, I don't want Telkom using their monopoly to gain ground for their internet provider, because then all do is we'll sign up all these people and no one else can get it. It'll be private. We'll give you, just move across your ISP.
Yes.
Join us, and then once we release, just stay with us. It's easier.
Yeah. No, and those are valid concerns, and they have to be addressed. So balancing that against just getting this infrastructure in place, and then I don't know, maybe there is a regulatory thing that needs to step in here, where where ICASA says, hey, listen, any customer you get this way, you need to give back. I don't know how that'll work, but I mean, or you have to give them a free account to test. So they can stay with their other ISP, and then you must give them a free Telkom internet account to test the service with.
I think it would be much easier. It's, it should follow the IPC method. So if you're testing it, test it properly.
Yeah.
Look, if it's just purely a test of speed test and the rest of it.
Yes.
But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Valid concerns all round, I think, because, monopoly position is an important thing to consider. Telkom has announced, this is another thing that I got out of in Intivate Satnac, media plans, IP streaming plans with a set-top box. So different topics, still Telkom, but so what they're talking about is they want to be able to do this over normal 4 meg lines, and in order to do that, they need it won't be pure on demand. So it won't be click and stream. The content will be sort of preloaded onto this box, a lot like DSTV box offices. And then you buy it or rent it, unlock it, and watch it. There's talk of it only being available on Telkom Internet. So that's a retail product.
Yeah.
So they said if they're going to make it available on other ISPs, that has to be rolled into Telkom wholesale. And the implications of that, I started thinking about how you could make that work as a business model, or not as a business model, as on a logistical level. But
so
how do you?
Move this quickly. I just wanted to add one last thing. I heard from someone who works with streaming media content. Apparently, you need about 20 to 40 megabits per second to do decent TV. Just adding in there with 20 to 40 megabits coming up.
Yeah. HD, normal TV.
HD
720p.
Basically, if you want to replace what your DSTV decoder can do with tests that other people have done.